In this short, we asked you what is the first thing we need to make a good film, and we agreed to give you our opinion, which we present to you now. The truth is that, no matter how high a film's budget is, allowing access to many technical resources, state-of-the-art equipment, special effects, or, on the other hand, an impressive cast, with several successful actors, in short, a cast of stars, if the story is not engaging, well-constructed and capable of transmitting emotions, the film can lose strength, or even its brilliance. Narrative is the heart of any audiovisual project. The story is what connects the audience, makes people identify, get emotional, and remember what they watched. Therefore, narrative and its potential in participatory video is one of the key themes on our channel.
Hello everyone. Creating and telling stories are activities that have characterized the human species since prehistoric times, as the ability of human beings to construct and communicate narratives predates writing. Some archaeologists believe that cave paintings were a form of storytelling in ancient cultures. Over the centuries, stories have been carved, painted, printed on wood or bamboo, ceramics, clay tablets, stone, metals, parchment, fabrics, paper, then recorded on film and finally stored electronically in digital format. With the development of writing, the invention of the printing press, and finally with the development of the media, stories began to be recorded, transcribed and shared in all regions of the world. Today, the act of creating and telling a story, which has come to be known as storytelling, has a huge field of application in the most diverse domains, among which is also participatory video, with storytelling often being part of its methodology. But the main question to be answered in this video is the following. How can participatory video intervene, or what can it offer when it uses storytelling? In other words, what can getting a group of people to create and tell a story by making a film provide, both for them as participants and for the audience, as well as for the facilitator? Let's see. First of all, it makes sense to look a little at the definition of storytelling itself. Storytelling is the activity of expressively communicating ideas, beliefs, personal experiences, and life lessons through stories or narratives that evoke emotions and insights.
This is a definition that can be applied to storytelling in general. However, nowadays it is very common to distinguish between storytelling in a common sense, essentially associated with tradition and entertainment, and serious storytelling, which has applications in the most diverse domains, especially educational, commercial, being a resource for various strategies in the scope of marketing, and therapeutic. Now, one of the most common ways of using storytelling in participatory video falls into this last genre, that is, the therapeutic one, in which participants share their stories with each other with the intention of later retelling them through images and sounds, giving rise to this sharing a new vision, a mental reconstruction of their paths or life stories. Still with a therapeutic nature in the broadest sense of the term, these stories can, however, have a community focus when, for example, their objective is to reinforce the social or cultural identity of a community, or of a certain group, or when they intend to open a space for reflection on certain problems, certain causes of that community, or even to evoke some memories among their memories, obviously. However, if a video of this type, based on telling a story, focuses on just one person, it naturally ends up having a biographical nature, in which the person in question will try to create a portrait of themselves.
por ter cariz biográfico, no qual a pessoa em causa pretenderá criar retrato de si própria.
I have made some videos of this type, and what I felt they had in common, each time I made a video about a person's life story, was the realization that the camera took on the role of a mirror, how the video allowed a reinforcement of their image and their own vision of their life path in a very constructive way.
Como a câmara assumia a função de espelho, como o vídeo permitia reforço da sua imagem e da sua própria visão sobre o seu percurso de vida de uma forma muito construtiva.
Of course, on the other hand, these videos were made with very different objectives in mind, which, naturally, directly referred to what each person wanted with the video, that is, with what purpose the person is constructing this mirror. To show to whom? To give to communicate to whom? It can happen in a more private, family context, but it can also be a public context, when a person is betting on showcasing their talent, live or in an online publication. It can also be a professional context, with certain specificities, among many others. And it's not just about the image here. The voice and, in some way, some ambient sound also take on the role of mirror. Listening to ourselves can give us back significant elements of our self-concept. Our voice and the way, the tone with which we speak, the words we use, will also, without a doubt, be important elements. Thus, according to its objectives, a biographical participatory video can fit into a more therapeutic line. It can also be considered as a video that promotes empowerment, or it can even have an activist line, if it intends, through the testimony of this life story, to defend a certain cause, or it can even have other objectives than any of these and that do not fit into this typology. But storytelling in participatory video is not limited to life stories. It may happen, for example, that participants just want to fantasize, use their imagination and invent a story, pure and simple. I wondered about that myself.
Eu própria me interrogava sobre isso, mas tive a oportunidade de chegar a algumas conclusões através de uma experiência.
But I had the opportunity to reach some conclusions through an experience I carried out with the young people of Alapando. Alapando is a studio linked to one of the Pastoral dos Ciganos community centers and is located in Lisbon. I will address the potential of using storytelling in a fictional context, based on the experience carried out with the participation of these young people, in one of the next videos. I'll end this video here. Below, in the description, I leave you some links that may be of interest to you. And until the next video.